this is Alexis,
Kennedy,
and Alyssa.
and this is our first video. We're doing a cheer practice
Tips video.
Woo! So this is just some tips that we thought of, and this is the first video on our channel, and we're basically just gonna do a whole bunch of cheer videos. So yeah,
Let's get started.
So the first tip is you should eat breakfast and make sure to eat healthy food all of the time because it makes you more positive and it'll just make you healthier in general. We have a notebook, by the way, with all our tips on it.
Yeah, we just wrote down all of our tips. So the next tip is drinking lots of water. This is really important, obviously, to stay hydrated, but like, I don't know, when you drink water, it like makes you hydrated, of course, but it kind of makes you have more energy too. Like,
Yeah. And it'll make you healthier too.
Okay, so if you had just done like a really hard stunt and they said, okay, water break, and you didn't have like
Drink
water, or you
water.
didn't want to, you're like, oh, I don't need a drink. Even if you're not thirsty, get water because you need to stay hydrated. It's really good for you, and it's just good overall, and it's better for you. Yeah.
And if you need water and your coaches didn't say water break, don't be afraid to go ask them because most likely they'll let you
our
get
coaches
water.
even said that to us, so they're not gonna
like
say.
we even asked
no.
today.
Yeah.
okay. Next thing is show up. This can be many different ways. First off, you need to show up on time because I can't stand when people are late to practice. I'm like,
Yeah, like this probably worked. Sorry, I'm just gonna say something.
Oh, you can say it.
If we're late at our cheer practice, they make us
We have to
run a
run.
bunch of laps.
So it's like if you're late, like you have to run like 10 laps or whatever, depending like how late you are.
Yeah.
And also, I can't stand when people don't come to practice.
gosh, yeah.
Like I get it if you have like a reason, then
And you can't
don't
like
come.
stunt.
Yeah, but if like
If you're just like, oh, I
you-
didn't feel good.
if you're just like, oh, I didn't want to.
Like,
Like I'm like,
sick,
okay, then
feel
why were you on the team then? Like I don't know. I just feel like you need to be like dedicated and like show up to practice. So
Yeah, keep talking.
Make sure to stretch the night before and just stretch always, especially if you're a flyer like me. You have to be able to be flexible and just always stretch no matter what position you are to make sure just in case something happens, you're still flexible.
yeah, because even if you're
And
not a
for
flyer,
tumbling.
you need to be flexible. Like
Yeah.
tumbling, it helps to be flexible and jump.
like in your
so,
back and
Yeah.
So the next thing is just being positive. If you're at cheer practice and you just have a really bad attitude about everything, then obviously they're not going to want you to be that point, like in the routine or just something like that. Because if you're like really negative and everything, they're just going to be like, oh, we'll just put them in the back because nobody likes a negative person. And this is kind of stereotypical, but cheerleaders are supposed to be like really happy and peppy and all that stuff. And so if you're really negative, then that's not really good.
And like our coach says, she's like, I don't coach attitude, so yeah. Okay, next, I'll probably do a little rant about this, but do not,
we're on the trampoline, by the
yeah,
way.
this is why we're all bouncy. Okay, anyway,
It's fine.
do not kiss up. Okay, I can't stand, I can't stand when there's those kiss ups on the team. They're like, oh my gosh, and they buy the coaches like gifts all the time. I'm like, why? And
It's not
also,
gonna help at all.
yeah, and also when coaches have like their little favorites, that bugs me so much. But yeah, so just don't kiss up because a lot of girls are gonna be like, that's the kiss up or the little like teacher's pet, but for cheer. So
And it's better to have friends in cheer, so don't
Yeah.
kiss up because then
because
you
no
won't
one's
have
gonna
friends.
like you.
Yeah. And make
And
sure
there's
to
no point.
Yeah.
There's no point in kissing up. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Make sure to be sharp, even when you're practicing, because it'll just help. If you're like, when you're practicing, it's going to make you actually do that when you're actually performing that skill or that stunt or that whatever, like routine or whatever. So make sure to just be sharp.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't talk. Okay, this one has many different things, but basically, don't talk. Okay, so we were doing a stunt in this, and
Oh my gosh.
and when we came out of the stunt, they kept talking and talking while the coach was trying to tell us what we were doing wrong, and we were like, stop talking, and they won't stop talking. Don't talk. It makes the coaches really annoyed, and don't laugh while you're in a stunt either.
That's so
That happened to us,
annoying.
and we almost fell. We were in an extension, and these girls started laughing, like our back spot, and then our
main
and then the main
base.
base started laughing. Don't do that. It's really
in a
annoying.
stunt group
Talking,
together.
you can wait for a break. You can wait till there's a water break to talk about what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Listen, because usually if you fall or something, or after a stunt, the coach will usually tell you what you need to work on.
Yeah.
And so don't talk when the coach is trying to talk to the whole team in general. That's just annoying. You can talk after practice, you can talk at breaks, you can talk any other time but during practice when the coaches are trying to talk to you.
Okay, next is don't slack, because if you're slacking on like conditioning and stuff, you are not going to improve at all. Conditioning is there to help you guys improve, and just don't slack, because like what our coaches always say,
You're as good as your.
yeah, you're as good as the worst, the worst person on the team. So
Our coaches have a lot of good advice.
a lot
I
of good
love our
advice,
coaches, they're
but
really good.
yeah, so just don't slack, please, because everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you made us do extra because you slacked off and stuff. So yeah, just don't slack.
This is a big one to me. It annoys me so much. Listen to the advice or the corrections your coaches give you. Listen to them. Don't be like, oh, whatever, I'm not doing that. Just listen, okay?
It'll help you in the long run, even if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, even if you're like, I'm better than you.
Okay, this kind of applies to me. Make facials when you're learning. Okay, so
This
if
is
you're,
me.
Coaches say this. Our coaches say this.
Sorry.
it's okay. If you're learning a routine, make facials while you're practicing it,
This
and
is like the sharp
before
thing.
you do it with the music, and have you go like full out
It's
for
like
what
the
you learned
sharp
so far.
thing.
Yeah, it's like the sharp thing. It'll help you in the long run. If you don't do facials while you're learning it, when they actually make you do facials, you'll mess up. This is how I am on the routine we're learning now. I wasn't making facials in the beginning, like for practice. And so when they're like, okay, make facials this time, I get confused and don't pay attention to what I'm doing because I wasn't making facials. So I was focusing on that. But if you make facials from when you're learning it, you'll just kind of like get used to it,
That's
and
what
then
I
it'll
do.
be a lot easier, and then you can do a lot better. Plus, facials are just really good to do all the time.
I
anyways.
always do
Yeah.
facials because it helps me.
Yeah, she's the
learn.
one that's always point because of her facials,
Yeah.
and she's really good at it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, and next is condition outside of practice, because you always want to be improving. I think, I don't know, I always, even when I get home from practice, I condition, when I get home.
And it'll help you
And,
with the next practice.
yeah, it helps you at the next practice to, be,
So you're used to it.
more prepared, yeah, and all that
you
stuff.
can
So
get a
just
better
condition all the time.
And you'll get better.
This is another big
You'll
thing
get your
to me.
hardcore abs.
Fix your corrections that your coaches give you. I always tend to raise my shoulders, and they
when she's
tell me
in a
not
half,
to.
she's
So
like-
I actually didn't after they told me.
Yeah.
It's just good so that you don't do it. If you're like, oh, I'll just not do it tomorrow
It'll
or
make you
something.
better.
Yeah, it'll make you better. Just think about that correction.
If you fall, don't make a big deal out of it. Okay, so I keep using the same example because our stunt group is Alyssa, stop. It's had many things with it.
We're in a stunt group
if
together.
if our stunt falls, don't make a huge deal out of it. It draws attention and it's just really annoying.
And you can make the other stunts fall.
Okay, so we had a stunt that fell actually today at practice. And the bass
main bass.
screamed. She full on screamed, and she's the flyer. And she didn't scream. If you scream and make a huge deal out of it, it's not that big of a deal. You'll just redo it again, fix it. Also, if you do fall, don't get really mad and blame other people.
Yeah, that's annoying.
really annoying. And it could have been you. Mm-hmm. I think that even if one person's messing up, it should
It's
just
the whole stunt group.
Yes.
My bass last year, my main bass, she used to blame me
Oh my
for
gosh,
everything
that was my main bass
when it
2
was
years
her fault, but I didn't say anything to her because
Yeah.
I didn't want to
'Cause
get anything.
If you blame it on people, not only it's not going to help them improve at
and you're
all,
not gonna
it's
fix
going to
your
make them feel
corrections.
worse, and it could be you doing that.
So
So
you
don't
won't
blame
fix
it.
it because you're blaming them.
Yes, maybe it is that person, but still, just don't even mention it. Maybe just give them advice, but don't be like, "Great, thanks for making the stunt fall." That's rude, and it doesn't help them.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Okay, so now for the last little tip or whatever, practice outside of cheer. Oh my
This is
gosh,
wrong with conditioning.
there are so many people on our cheer team who do not practice outside, and you can totally tell because they come and they still don't know the routine, and I'm like, okay, we've had this for a while now, we all have it down and you don't, you're obviously not practicing, and your coaches will notice, our coaches are always there, and they're like, we can tell who's been practicing and who's not, so just make sure you practice, and yeah.
And if you do practice, if you're one of those people that wants to be the point, in a dance or something, if you want to be the point,
or point
it,
jumps
practicing
or anything.
and doing really and like practicing and trying as hard as you can.
And work on the counts.
It'll make that
of your
because
stuff.
nobody, like, even if you are one of those people that's like, oh, I wouldn't want to be up front, that's a lot of pressure, you still wouldn't want to be stuck in the back the whole time.
Yeah.
Plus, it helps you, like, go better, like how we have OBH.
Yeah, our little motivation for our team.
We have a motivation. We have a team that we need, like,
that we
wanna
want to beat. So we have OBH. It's
like
Operation B, and then it's that team.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say
So you
because
could
then
just
you'll
do
know
that
where
to
we-
yours, except you shouldn't because we mean it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we use as motivation. So,
They're like,
also, I guess the last
OBH.
tip could be find a thing that you're like, that'll help motivate you, and it'll make you work harder.
Like a
that's
quote
ours.
or
That's
anything.
ours, or just
Okay,
something. What?
So our coaches, like every time we're doing something hard, like
like,
conditioning,
OBH.
yeah. So we're like,
And then it makes
okay.
us all go, okay, they're like, don't slack the conditioning because OBH. And we're like, oh yeah. And so then we work.
Yeah.
So that is all for this video.
Make sure to thumbs up this video and also subscribe.
And we hope you guys enjoyed, and comment down any videos that you guys want to
Make
see.
some requests.
So,
So bye. Love y'all. Hey guys, this is
start over.
Hey guys, this is Alexis
Kennedy.
And Alyssa,
and today we are going to be doing a
cheer practice tips video where Kennedy is laughing.
and that wasn't even the right name.